Welcome to the fourth lecture of Design and Analysis of Algorithm. In this session, we are going to talk about the matrix multiplication and polynomial evaluation. So we will be seeing that what is the polynomial, what do we mean by polynomial, how we can represent into the computer science domain, and how we can evaluate. So today agenda is to talk something about the polynomial evaluation and the matrix. So let us start. So this is the first thing that we are going to talk about today, that what is the matrix multiplication. So I think all of you already familiar with that. If you have a matrix A, if you have a matrix A and matrix B, you can multiply. And matrix is nothing more than this, that there are some rows, and in every row there are some number, and there are numbers into the rows and column format. And how many rows are there? Let's assume that there are p rows, and in every row let's assume there are r items. So we can say that this particular matrix, that A is of the order of p cross r. So we can multiply it with any other matrix, but it is required that it also the size should be r cross q, something like that. So in this setting, what does it mean? That there should be r rows into the matrix B, and there could be q items in each row, means the number of column is q. Then only the two things could be multiplied. So when a matrix of size p cross q is multiplied by with something that is q cross, sorry, so I think I should write p cross r is multiplied with the r cross q, then the resulting matrix, whatever it is, we can call it C, is going to be of the size p cross q. So everybody knows this. Okay, any questions on that? So we get a new matrix, and where the size is what? P cross q. Okay, the first matrix was of p cross r, second matrix was r cross q. Then the answer that we could get is precast r. So if you visually want to understand, so let's assume that this is the matrix A and this is the matrix B. Okay, so I'm just drawing in a rough way, so that you can, however, it is need not to be square matrix at all. So let's assume that this is the C matrix, and if we want to find out this particular item, okay, let's assume some item from here. So this item, so there are two things, that this particular item is into a particular row. So you have to pick the all the items from this particular row, and also this item is in a particular column. This is the column, and this column would be taken from this B. So all the items which are actually here, for example, one item is here and another item is here, they are going to be multiplied. And similarly, this item is multiplied by this item, this item is multiplied by this item, this item is multiplied by this item. So all the items in the sequence way, they are multiplied, and we try to find out the summation. So this is what the standard equation is. Okay, so any questions on that? Hope everybody knows about this. So just for sake of my confidence, can you say that yes, you understand this particular thing? Can you write yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. So essentially, I'm talking about that Cij. If you want to find out the any, this is the C matrix, this is the B matrix, this is the A matrix. If you want to find out the Cij thing, so you have to take that, take the summation of r terms, which are r actually signifies that because all the here r items are there, and in this row also, column also r items are there. You multiply the aik and bik. So I think it is not very difficult to write a programming code for this. Again, it is very simple. You just say that you are going to run two loops. The first loop for all the p's, and then second loop is for all the q's, and then inside you are going to compute that. So initially you put the value as a 0, and then you subsequently multiply all the terms and do the multiplication and find out what is the value of Cij. Any questions? If you have any doubt, then I can go into the more detail. If you are okay with this algorithm, then we can go ahead. Any problems? Any questions on this particular algorithm? This algorithm is correct, or you can find out that if there is. Let me tell you that there could be typing mistakes. I am typing by my own, so many of the time there are typing mistakes. So if you find out any, please let me know. So is everything fine? Can you say yes? Okay, great. So if you understand this algorithm, then if I ask you that what is the complexity of this algorithm, how much time it is going to take, so you can tell me, sir, since all these items are actually how many items we are going to compute. So essentially there are three numbers, P, R, and Q, and for this matrix C matrix is going to be of, as I told you, that P cross Q. So P cross Q items need to be computed. For every item you need K R computation. So essentially it is P into Q, which are number of item multiplied by R. These many number of computations you need. We essentially can say that all these values are n. So the total time is going to be order of n cube. So the time taken by this algorithm is order of n cube. Make sense? So can we do better? Is it possible to do it in the lesser amount of time? We want to do that. See if it is possible. So one such approach is this, that many of the time people had find out that instead of using this complete multiplication, you can apply divide and conquer. What do I mean by divide and conquer? So you can divide this matrix into two parts. You can also divide this matrix into two parts. Okay, and if you divide the matrix into two parts, then there is individual parts are also a matrix. This is also a matrix. Okay, this is also a matrix. Similarly, this is also a matrix. 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 However, their size is smaller. Okay, they are of the smaller size. So can I write that A11? If this matrix is called A11, this matrix is called A12. I can say that this matrix is 21, then A22. Similarly, this is B11, B12, B21, and B22. I can write like this. And then similarly, I can also divide this matrix also into two parts, C11, C12, C21, C22. I can also say like that. So this problem can now be represented in a more compact form, that I can say that there are these four matrices and I'm going to multiply these four matrices. So into the same way, we can find out what is the multiplication as we have done earlier. I can say that how to find out the first part. Oh, sorry, 1 minute. How to find out the C11. So into the same way, C11 is going to be the multiplication of these terms with these terms. Make sense? Means C11 is equal to A11 multiplied by B11 plus A12 multiplied by B21. Okay. Similarly, if I ask the second part, you can compute it by yourself. You can say that C12 is going to be C12. This is this term. 1 minute. This term is going to be multiplied by this term, and this term is going to be multiplied by this term. So A11 multiplied by B12, A12 multiplied by B22. So this is how you can go ahead. I just request you to please check whether values are written correctly, because as I'm telling that typing mistake is possible. So can everybody verify that if there is any typing mistake? Okay. Yes, there is a typing mistake. Can you tell me where? C12, C, there is a typing mistake. Yes. Okay, people are writing yes. Where is, in which line? C12, C21, C22. No typing mistakes. Okay, thank you. So looks like that I have passed this particular test. However, please let me know that please let me tell you that multiple time I do these kind of typing mistakes. So if you find, please feel free to tell me. Okay, so I am believing one of my student that everything is right. So can you tell me that how much computation time is needed over in this particular setting? Again, we have to find out that how many operations since we are dividing the problem into a smaller one, how many operation I need to do. I need to do this multiplication, this matrix multiplication, this multiplication, this multiplication, this multiplication, this multiplication, this. How many such? 8 multiplication. I have to do 8 matrix multiplication. But the good thing is this, that their size is smaller. Okay, they are not of the same size. Their size is smaller. What is the size? Half. Whatever the size over here, if the size here if size of A and B are n cross n, then the size is going to be t n by 2. Okay, n by 2 cross n by 2. So this is needed. However, to do this thing, we have to then we What I wanted to tell that after doing this computation, because this part you have to compute and this part you have to compute, then you have to find out the summation, and then only you can tell that what is the value of C11. So this summation would take, because you are going to add the two items, and earlier let's assume the matrix was n cross n. Now the smaller matrix is of size n by 2 cross n by 2. So these two matrices of this n by 2 cross n by 2 means n square by 4 size two matrices you are going to add. So they are going to take the time, that is n square by proportional to the n square by 4. So again, it is proportional to the order of n square only. So this four summation terms would also come, okay, to find out what is the value. So recurrence relation that I can write is going to be this, that that there are 8 terms. We can say that there are 8 terms, and then Tn by 2, then theta of n square. Anybody, if you have any problem, please let me know that whether this thing is fine. That if I want to multiply find out the complete value of the C, then I have to do this. Is it clear? Yes, no? Yes? Yes? Nobody is telling yes. Shivam, is it fine? Yes? Okay, good. So what is the solution? Can anybody tell that if this is what the recurrence relationship that I have, then what is the solution? Again, you can apply the master method. It is n to the power log 2 to the base 8. It is n to the power 3, and n to the power 3 is greater than n to the power 2, polynomially greater than n to the power 2. So very easily we can find out that order of n is equal to theta of n cube. Make sense? So this is again earlier also order of n cube. Now also we have order of n cube. So no improvement. However, we have done something, divide and conquer. We have gone to the divide and conquer regime, but no, it is going to take the same time. Okay, I don't know that how, nobody knows, it's very difficult to tell, and that how the Strassens, there was one person who came up this particular idea. He told that if you want to find out the matrix multiplication, then you and essentially you want to find out what is the value of C11, what is the value of C12, what is the value of C21, and what is the value of C22. So he told that you don't use the method that you were earlier using. Instead, you find out these 7 terms, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, and P7. And what is P1? It is A11 multiplied by B12 minus A22. Okay. So how many multiplication is needed here? One multiplication, one matrix multiplication, and one subtraction. Okay. So let me just write. That multiplication 1 and summation or subtraction 1. Okay. In the P2, again there is one addition and then there is multiplication, so it becomes 2 and 2. Into the third, he need to find out what is the value of P3. Again there is a summation term and multiplication, so one multiplication and one summation. Next, again there is a one subtraction and addition are actually the same thing. Then you find out that what is the one multiplication, 4, 4. In every step you can see that here 2 summations are there. So the summation becomes 6 and one multiplication it becomes 5. Here you see that 2 summation are there, so it becomes 8 and it becomes 6. Here 2 summations and think to 10 and 7. Okay, so he was telling that I need 7 I need to find out these P1, P2, P7s. Okay, so you understood that how much time it is needed. Okay, then Strassens shows that if you find out these C1, you can find out the values of C1, C2, C3 by this way: P5 plus P4 minus P2 plus P6. Okay, so how many summations are there? 3 summations. So I can say that 10 plus 3 summations. Here into the find C12 is 1 summation plus 1 summation. Here again is C21 plus 1 summation. Here into C22, 3 summation. Okay, total number of summation. How many summations? 3, 6, 7, 8. Total 18 number of summations and 7 multiplication. Do you also need any multiplication to find out Cs? Do you need any multiplication to find out the C's? No, given the value of P's, you need not to do anything. So essentially, he told that if you do 18 additions, these 18 number of additions and 7 multiplications, here are the 7 multiplications, then you can find out all these values of C's very easily. Okay, you can find out the values of these C's. Okay. So algorithmically, if you want to represent this thing, then what is the recurrence relation that you are going to obtain? Okay, let me clear it. Okay, so algorithmically you can write this as this, because n by 2, because every time when you are going to do the multiplication, you are going to have the size of n by 2. How many such multiplication are there? 7 multiplications are there. So 7 multiplied by tn by 2. Then if you want to do the additions, it is again order of n square, because as I told you that size is only n by 2 cross n by 2. So it becomes n square by 4. N square by 4 is order of n square. Whatever multiplication, whatever value you, even if you multiply with 18 or 4 or whatever, it is again remains order of n square. So this equation, so this is what the recurrence relation that arises from this particular problem formulation. Any question on that? So everybody happy with this? Okay, happy? Any questions on this? Any questions? You may ask that how come this came? How come he came to the idea that these P's, from where they are coming, and how come we can combine them to make this? So I'm not going to that much detail, and even it is not provided. So that is not needed at this particular moment. What is needed is only this, that this recurrence relation that arises, and the answer that you compute is going to be right. Okay, so so what is the solution for this? Again, you can apply the master method that we have done earlier. So the master method would tell that again you can find out what is the n to the power, what is n to the power log at the base 2, what, 7. Okay, here you can see that this is value of a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 2. Here, because the b is 2, so then you find out that what is this value, and this value is definitely greater than n square, so this is going to be your complexity. Okay, so what is the complexity of this particular algorithm? Again, you can see that it is written over here. The complexity of algorithm is n to the power log of 7 at the base 2, which is n to the power 2.81. So it is an improvement. Any question at this particular point? Any questions at this particular point? Yeah. No questions? Okay, if you don't have any question, I want to give you a homework for you, and the homework is very simple. I'm just going to write this. Let's assume that 3 1 2 5 6 1 2 1 3 0 1 2 multiplied by 4 2 1 0 1 0 3 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2. Let's assume that you want to find out the multiplication of these two, where a is equal to this, b is equal to this. Can you find out that what is the value of c using two methods? First method that you use for the matrix multiplication, and second method using the Starnes matrix multiplication. So I just want to ask this question, whether is it doable or not? Yes or no? Yes, can you do it? Akshat, can you do it? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So everybody, this is a homework that you just use any number as I have written. It is not very much specific that you use only these number given by me. Whatever number you wish, you can take that number and you can execute and try to find out that what is whether you are going to get the same number or not. Okay. So this is what your homework is. Try to do it, and hope this is clear to you. Okay. So next thing that I'm going to talk about, I have a lot of time today, so it's very easy. Okay, and that thing is this, that the polynomial representation. So all of you know polynomial, because this is not, it's a very difficult topic from very beginning you are hearing about the polynomials. So polynomial, you know that what is the this is a expression of this particular kind, that there is a constant. Let's assume that I say that 2 plus 3x plus 2x square plus 3x cube. This is a polynomial. Okay, and then I can say that this is equal to 0 or not. That is a different thing. Polynomial is this. This is what the polynomial is. So how can you represent this polynomial? Okay, what do I mean by representation? So into the computer science domain, we have to put the things into the computer. Now, how would you like to have this computer things into the computer? So one way is this, that you can create an array. Okay, you can create an array, and you say that at the zeroth location, first location, second location, third location, fourth location, fifth location. Okay, so everywhere you say that it is x to the power. This is the coefficient with respect to the x to the power 5. This is coefficient with respect to the x to the power 4, so on. So this thing can be represented as 2 3 2 3 0 0. Okay, or we can say that 2 3 2 3 0 0 0 0. Okay, same way, very simple. Problem? Any problem? I think all of you would be happy to know that today we are learning a new thing. Nahi? You would be thinking that, sir, why you are wasting our time? All these things are so simple. Okay, but I have to tell you, just for the sake of completeness, because at later point of time when you would see a different representations, you should not confuse. Okay, however, they are very simple, but they are very powerful. Okay, try to understand that what is the importance of the coefficient form is this, that you can write them into this way. Everybody is okay with this coefficient form? Can you write yes? Okay, okay. So if I give you this for 2 plus x 7x square, then what would the answer? It is written over here, so it would become cheating. Let me give it 3 minus x plus 4x square. What is the answer? Can anybody give me? Okay, so somebody is telling that 3 minus 1 4. Let us assume that he is right. So if I want to multiply this particular polynomial with 3, yeah, or say 5. Okay, let's assume that I want to multiply this polynomial with 5. Then how can, because in my computer now this is the representation. Okay, I don't know about that particular thing, but you know that in the back of your mind that if it is multiplied by 5, it becomes 15 minus 5x plus 20x square. Okay, so but in the computer this is the value that you have. If you multiply this particular 5 over here, you get 15 minus 5 20. So you can see that the scalar multiplication is directly possible. If you could directly, you can multiply with the scalars over here. Okay, so next thing, that if you want to find out the addition, let's assume that in my memory something is 217, something is 2 minus 3 1, and if you want to find out the addition and subtraction are the same thing. So what's the value here? Can anybody tell me? Who is going to type first? I think 4 minus 2 8. 4 minus 2 and 8. So I believe on you. So if anybody have any problem, he can let me know. What if we multiply by x? Okay, so now the student wants that what if we multiply with this? So multiplication is difficult task, okay, and it is a different task that we were about to ask. So this is again a difficult thing, how to do the multiplication. It becomes difficult how to find out the multiplication. So so help me to find out the multiplication. It is actually 2x, I think not the 2x, it is 2 plus x plus 7x square, and this is 2 minus 3x plus x square. What is the answer? Can you give me that? What is the answer? So it is going to be 2 multiplied by 2, okay, plus in the constant term you say that it is 2 multiplied by 2 only, then this 2 would be multiplied by over for the x1, so it becomes 2 multiplied by 1 plus minus 3 multiplied by 2. Am I right? Then by this you would be getting the, this is the for the constant term, okay, x to the power 0. X to the power 1 term can be found into this way. When you multiply minus 3 with the 2 and 2 with the x. And then what is the x square term? X square term is going to be x square term when it is multiplied with the constant, and these x is multiplied by with the x. So you know that there are complex things coming, and I don't want to get into that particular complexity. It is 2 multiplied by 7 plus 2 multiplied by 7, and then minus 3, then 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2, and what else? It is plus 1 multiplied by minus 3. So this is, am I right? Okay, Siddharth has solved my problem. He has given all these numbers. But actually, what I wanted to tell you, that the multiplication is not straightforward. You have to find out multiple things over here. You have to find out multiple terms that are, and you, but at least you should know, at least you know that all the things which are going to be produced, they are fixed. Okay, you know that this term is multiplied by this term, then it would, you would get the constant term, like that. Okay, what I wanted to tell, that if you, okay, if this term is multiplied by this term, you would be the constant term. This term is multiplied by here, then you would be getting a x power x term. When not x, kya kar raha hu main? When this term is multiplied by this, then you are going to power 1 term. Similarly, this term is multiplied by here, you get the power 1 term. To get the power 2 term, you have to multiply this term with this, and this term with this, and this term with this. 3 such multiplication. Power 4 term would be only obtained if you multiply this term with this term. So you can write this 4 places, and you tell that only there is a right kind of circuit that can give you that what are the value that are going to come over here. So what I wanted to tell you is this, that there is a predefined circuit. You may assume that given these value, immediately you can find out that what are the values over here. Am I right? You need not to do any kind of multiplications, and number of multiplications which are involved there, they are fixed. Only those many number of multiplications are needed. Am I right? Am I right? When this particular size is fixed, then number of multiplication are fixed, and you can find out that there is a specific ordering in which you have to do. So this is the one kind of representation. I just wanted to talk about this, that this is the one kind of representation. And what is the advantage of this kind of representation is this: you can directly, whenever you see this particular number, you directly relate yourself, okay, this is what is going to be the polynomial. Another very interesting kind of representation is the point value representation that I wanted to bring to your table. And this is actually important part, and even this into the next class, we are going to utilize this representation. So what is this? That it actually says that, you know that a polynomial that has a degree n, you need to find out n points, any n points, okay, n points. And on these n points, if you can evaluate that what is the value of f, then you can reconstruct. So how to reconstruct, we will be seeing later. But I just right now, just I wanted to tell you that there is a method that tells that on some value you find out that what is the value of this particular polynomial. So this is the equation of polynomial. Now we have talked about that what is the equation of the polynomial. So so pick some value and find out that what is the value. Pick another value, find out what is the value of that particular function. Pick another value, find out what is the value of this. And this is called the point value form. This is called the point value form. Okay. So if you want to find out the point value form, for example, for this particular polynomial, so you pick any value that you can pick. For example, I pick 0, 1, and 2. These two values I am going to pick, and I want to find out what is the value of 2x plus 7x square. So it is 0, then it is 2. It is 1, then it is 7, 8, 9, 10, and when it is 2, it becomes 32. Am I right? So you can represent this this as a as it is written 0 to 110 to 32. Okay, so in this way you can represent these values. I want to ask you that if I increase more value, for example, -1, what is the value? Can you tell me? At the -1, what is the value? It is 2 minus 1 plus 7. So it is 8. So if I increase the number of thing, then whether the polynomial changes. Okay, three values. If using only three value, I represent the polynomial, but then I think you would be agreeing that if using three values, if I represent, then I can represent this particular polynomial. If I increase one more thing, whether this changes something, answer is yes or no. No, no. Okay. If you take more points, then it changes. Answer is no. If I take lesser point, I take only 2 points. Does it changes? Answer is yes. Okay. So you have to find out that what is the highest degree term, how many, what is the highest degree term, and you take one more of that to represent that particular polynomial, because one is for the constants and for every other literal you take one such sample. So highest degree term plus 1. If 2 is there, then 2 plus 1 number of samples are needed for me. Any question on that? Any questions on that? Yes or no? No questions? Nobody is writing. No questions, Siddharth? If we give 4 values, will we get a 4-degree polynomial? Yeah, that is a very interesting question. I answered this. I asked from you, and you, all of your friend have answered. The answer was no. So if you are using more points, then the answer is no. Okay, because you are on the same polynomial. If you are using the same polynomial to find out those values, then having more values is not going to give you any extra importance. Make sense? Okay. Okay, because you are evaluating using how you are going to find out, generate these values. You are going to generate these values with the help of this polynomial, and this polynomial is not changing, therefore the things are not going to change. Make sense? Okay, so again let us find out that how you can do the addition and subtraction things over here. So if I say that very simple thing, that 217 plus 2 minus 31, can you find out this? So actually I have written this question wrong into the point value form, because into the point value form what would happen, that this would not be the thing. 217, as we know that 217 is this is the 217, and what is it, 2 minus 31, this is written here. Okay, that we earlier have used for the addition. I just want to find out that this value once again. So this is not the right way to give me the question. Okay, you can say that, sir, into the point value representation, this is not the right way. You don't give me, you give me the point value representation. And what is the point value representation of this particular polynomial? This. Okay. Okay, then what is the point value representation of the second polynomial? We don't know. We have to find out this. 2 minus 3x0. For them also, let us find out. And let me take these values for 0, 1, and 2 only. Let's assume that from the 0, 1, and 2, these values are given to me. Now I want to find out the addition. So everybody can help me. That, sir, the first was 0, 2. Another was 110, and the third one was, sorry, 232, and the second polynomial was 0, 2, and 1, 0, and 2, 0, 0. Then the summation, then the final would be 0, 4, and 110, and 232. This is the polynomial. This is the new polynomial. New polynomial can be represented by this. And what is the equation? We would find out that what is the equation. But this is the new polynomial. All of you agreeing with me? How many of you are agreeing with me? Yes. So because it is a summation, na? So summation would be the same. So I can find out into this particular way. Addition and subtraction both can be found into this particular way. Items given into the point value form, immediately you go and just see that what is the value into the functional part. You just find out the summation of them, and then immediately you can find out the very efficient way that a polynomial is given. Then we can immediately find out that what is the summation on those things. Okay. So what is the multiplication here? Again, multiplication, if you want to find out the multiplication, these two polynomial, the first polynomial, second polynomial, same polynomial that I'm talking earlier. If you want to find out that what is the multiplication of these two polynomials, again, you can go ahead with this 0, 2 and 0, 4. So it is going to be, no, I think I have written wrong. Okay, 0, 2 and 0, 2. Okay, then it is going to be 0, 4. 2 and 2 is multiplied by 4. The first item would be 0, 4. Whether it is clear to everybody? Using the second point 110 and 1, 0, it becomes 1, 0. Using the third point 0, 232, 2, 0, it becomes 2, 0. Any problem here? The representation of this particular new polynomial. Only problem is this, that it would not suffice this time. Only this many points would not suffice. We need few more points. Okay, you should note that few more points are needed. But if enough points are given, because as I was telling that you are going to have only how many points here? 3 points are there. So if you have taken 6 points over here, and here also if we had taken the 6 points, having 6 points doesn't mean that I'm going to have the different polynomial. So using them immediately I can find out what is the multiplication. Okay, using them immediately I can find out what is the multiplication into the order of n time, where n represents the 6. Okay, make sense? So you can think that sir, it is very much needed that I have to find out that what is the value of this particular function on the sum of the given values. How to find out that? So it is not difficult that if a function is given to you, a polynomial function is given to you, and you want to evaluate this on a particular value. For example, a value x is given. So how much time it is needed? You know that the first value is immediately available. Second value is you need one multiplication. Third value, because x is square, you have to multiply x with the x, and then you will multiply with the a, then 2 multiplication. Here you need 3 multiplication. Similarly, here you need n multiplication. So summation of 1 to n becomes order of n square. So order of n square. So how many term? Just write half of n into n minus 1. That is order of n square. So finding out a evaluation of a polynomial takes order of n square time. Any problem in that? Okay. Adit is asking that why we need more points. So the point is, Adit, is this, that using 3 points you can only approximate, you can only find out a polynomial having of the degree 3 only. Okay, if 3 points you can go up to the x square. Okay, 4 points you can go as to the power 3. Okay, so if more points are there, then you can make a bigger polynomial, x to the power 5, 6, whatever, and with the n you can go to the power x to the power n minus 1. So more points can give you a bigger, a higher degree polynomial. But sometimes if you are using the same earlier points on the same constructed polynomial, then if you are increasing the number of points, then the polynomial degree would not increase. Polynomial degree would increase only if the points are not onto the previous envelope. Okay. So this is an important thing, that if you want to compute the polynomial, it takes a lot of time, order of n square time. So this was a big issue. So there was another method that is called the Horner's rule. Well, that tells that you don't compute into this way. You actually can rewrite this expression in this way, that I can take the x out. I can say that x multiplied by a1 plus what? Can you tell me? A1 plus, let me write the x first. X multiplied by a2 plus x square a3 plus dot here. Here again, here inside, because this was the expression, you can take x out and you can write the remaining part where the power is reduced. Everybody understand this thing? Everybody understand this thing? Yes. So what I can say that this particular expression can be represented in this form: a0 plus x multiplied by a1 multiplied plus x multiplied by a1 plus x multiplied by a3 plus x multiplied by dot 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 till the last end. So whether this line is clear, please ask. This is a very simple line. If you have any confusion, please ask. That's what I have done. Okay. So let us to make it clear. I think I should take an example so that it becomes clear to you. So let me take it for example. 2 plus 3x plus 5x square plus 3x cube. I want to find out this. I can write it like this: 2 plus x multiplied by 3 plus x multiplied by 5 plus 3x. Okay, last one I can put it this way. So is it right? Is the same expression? Yes or no? Can you tell me? Same expression? Yes? Yes? So what is the what if I want to find out when x is equal to 2? X is equal to 2. So 2 plus 2 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by 5 plus 3 multiplied by 2. So I can solve in this way. I can find out this. 3 plus 2 is 6 plus 5. 6 plus 5 is 11. Then I multiply with this 2. It becomes 22. Then this 22 plus 3 becomes 30, 25. Okay. Then I multiplied by 2. It becomes 50. Then I add 2. It becomes 52. Am I computing right? Okay. So in every step, you can see that everything is serialized now. One step, one step, one step, and with from here to here, you can just into the single go, you can find out what is the value. So Harner's law is a important way to find out the value of a polynomial. Very efficient way to find out the value of the polynomial. Okay. Single evaluation of a single point is going to take the order of n time. If you have a polynomial of the degree order n minus 1, so how many points you need? N points to represent this into the point value representation. So to represent this polynomial into the point value representation, I have to call this particular procedure n number of times. The total time required to represent a polynomial is order of n square. If you have a polynomial, you can represent it into the point value into the order of n square time. Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. So now sometime you want when you want your polynomial back, because let's assume that you have a polynomial. Let's assume that you have a polynomial and you have converted to the point value thing, and the point value you are not able to understand. You want to find out what is the function. Give me the function. How can I find out the function? So there is a method that is called the Gaussian elimination that can give you a direct way to go from the point value. From the point value you can get the polynomial. Okay, if you want your polynomial back, so if you want your polynomial representation back, then you can, from point value, you can use what? Gaussian elimination. So Gaussian elimination is nothing more than this, that you by yourself you can think that all of you are intelligent enough. You assume, because there are n points. How many points? 3 points. So you can think that the highest degree term would be 2. So you can say that it is a0 plus a1x plus a2x squared. Let's assume that this is what the function is. Any problem? Then since these values are given to you, on -1 it is 1. So you put the -1, you put -1, so it becomes a0 minus a1 plus a2. a0 minus a1 plus a2 is equal to 1. This is, you can write using this representation. Any problem? Anybody have any issue? Anybody have an issue? Use this point to write this expression. Is it fine? Say yes. Yes or no? Okay. Yes or no? Akshat, is it fine? Yes. So use the second one, 0, 6. On the 0, you know that these things goes away. So you can say that a0 is equal to 6. Okay, fine. So 115. So the answer is 15. It is a0 plus a1 plus a2 is equal to 15. So now the trick comes. Trick says that first you use these point value representations to make this particular problem instance. Okay, so linear equations you can write, and from this linear equation what you can do, that you can eliminate one expression. So here in this case you can see that directly the value of a1 is available to me, so I can put the a1 over here. So I can see the 6 minus a1 plus a2 is equal to 1, means a1 plus minus a1 plus a2 is equal to minus 5. This is the first expression. From here I can put a1 is equal to 6 over here, then I can get a1 plus a2 is equal to what? Can anybody tell? 9. Am I right? So these are the two equations, and I can use this expression to solve to find out what is the a1 value. Then again you can add these two things, and you can say these two expressions, you can say that 2a2 is equal to, I think, minus 5, and 9 becomes 4. So a2 is equal to 2. Okay, so from this big problem, look, from mathematical and from the algorithmic perspective, you see that this was a big problem. From this I reduced to the small one. 3 variable problem reduced to the 2 variable problem. When 2 variable becomes 1 variable problem, and you have solved it, use this thing, put it here, use this thing, put it here, and finally you can do it. So this is a method called the divide and conquer. What is this method? This is the divide and conquer method. What does it says? That you write the expressions, and here if you pick this particular expression, so you can find out what is the value of a1. A1 is equal to b1 divided by c11 minus c12 divided by c11 into a2 minus, you can take everything here into this particular side. By this find out the value of a1. How much time is needed? Order of n terms are there now, because there are n terms. Term, and then you substitute this value, whatever the a's values is there, here, here, and here. How much time? Order of 1. In order of 1 time you can substitute, but you have to rearrange them, because everywhere you have to find out the new values over here. Order of n time, total order of n time. In order of n time, you can reduce this n variable problem to the n minus 1 variable problem. Are you okay? Are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? Yes. So what I wanted to tell, that a1 is equal to this expression, a1 is equal to this expression, a1 is equal to going to be this expression. Okay, and so I have put into this all these expression, and I have reduced this thing. So divide step need n minus 1 computation, because these are the n minus s expression. Everywhere order of n time computation is needed. Order of n square time, you spend, and this, by this you reduce the size. It gets a single problem. You reduce one is a single problem with one less variable. Okay, then the conquer steps comes. What the conquer steps come? That when after doing this on the smaller step at the end, you would be getting only single variable. You can get the value, you plug in here, plug in here, plug in here, plug in here, then you come up here, all the other variables have their value. Then you can find out what is the value of a1 by using the same formula that you have put over there. So how much time it would take? By putting all these values, again order of n time. Okay, order of n time. So two things are there. Let me show you here. Okay, two things are there. N size problem, everybody please be with me. N size problem is divided into n minus 1 size problem. Okay, everybody is okay with this? How much I have to invest? I have to invest this much time so that I can divide it. Okay, divide takes order of n into and my order of n square time. This much time I have to invest to divide this, and then when the answer comes, I have to conquer, means I have to combine, I have to recompute this value, and this also take order of n time. This expression is clear to everybody? Any questions on this? Any questions on this? Everybody is clear with this expression? Okay, can anybody write yes? Yes sir. Sir, please explain divide time. Okay, so how to divide this? So actually from n size thing I want to go to the n minus 1 size thing. Okay, so I would find out that a1 is equal to, I take all these things this side and divide by c11, which was here. Clear? Shubham, is it clear? Yeah. So how much time it is going to take? Order of n time, because I have to move all these things and divide, and essentially I can say that n minus 1 step, n minus 1 values I'm moving. So subtracting n minus 1 values and dividing by C11, and then I have to substitute this particular value of A1 that you have just obtained here, 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 so that A1 is not there in these expressions. Shubham, is it clear? When you put one value over here, how much time it is going to take? Order of n time, because again you have to do the n computations over here and minus 1 computations over here. So how many such expressions are there? N minus 1 expressions are there. So order n minus 1 of order of n expressions you have to do. Here also order of n you have to expand, everywhere you have to spend order of n time, so that they becomes a single expression, na? Because for every variable there would be something that need to be added. For this variable also there will be something need to be added from this particular set. Okay, clear, Shubham? So total time is order of n square. Is it clear? Divide step is clear. After that, what would happen? That the same problem would get generated. Same problem with the n minus 1 thing is generated. Is it clear, Shubham? Should I proceed? Okay. So I'm done. Okay, I'm nearly done. So if you understand this particular expression, then nothing more is needed. So what I wanted to tell you that, let me clear all these things from the board. I just wanted to tell you that this is the expression that we come up. So what is the solution for this thing? Tn minus 1 Cn minus 1 Bn. The solution for this expression is order of n cube. So I leave it on you. That's very easy. You try to expand it one by one and try to find out that actually expand it, and you may assume that as a homework, and it is going to be order of n cube. Make sense? Thank you very much.